Hello, this is Jolie with Crochet Basics, and in this episode I'm going to show you how to make a hooded scarf. The hood is detachable, so if you only want to make the scarf or what have you, that's fine. I'm going to start out with the scarf and then we'll work our way to the hood after. What you need. I'm using regular acrylic this time around, Super Saver Red Heart. That's what I got. That's what I'm using. I know you can't really see it, but this is actually a light sage. It's just not, my lighting is causing it to not really show so well. And it's a worsted weight, medium, size 4. I'm using an eye hook. And there's a lot here. Wait, how much is here? It's 14 ounces. 744 yards. I'm not using the whole of it, hopefully, but I do have another one of these in my storage container. Bin. I'm not renting a storage container for my yarn, although I probably could because I do have a huge stash of yarn. All right, so eye hook, yarn, buttons. You need 4 to 7 or 8 buttons or so. Needle and thread, if needle and thread for the buttons, stitch marker, scissor, tape measure, and with that, let's go. Okay, so if you do a slip knot on your hook, I do not. I always tell you that. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed, please do hit the red button below the video or on the bottom right hand of the corner, you'll see a pink KBJ, and you can use that to subscribe. Anyway, so you're chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, and in that third chain from the hook, you're going to do a double crochet, and these are our working loops. We're going back into them. So you're going to do 45 of these loops. It's just a chain 3 and then a double crochet in the third one. So if you move your hand up, you'll see exactly where you're going to put your hook in. So 1, 2, 3, and then just move your fingers up, and it just gets easier that way. But you want these to be as even as possible as far as tension and all of that's concerned. So 45 of these. So I don't want to eat up all of your time by showing you these loops or what have you. So I'm going to work mine and I'll do a time lapse, and I'll come back right when I'm finished up with that. So I just finished my 45 and I marked my 23rd stitch so that I know where the center is and I don't have to, you know, go back and count or any kind of thing like that. All right, so from here, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to go into that loop, that first one. We're going to work back. So you'll do 2 double crochets in that loop. And we're going to work all the way around. So this is starts out like a you know, a granny rectangle, what have you. So one thing, you can adjust how long you want, of course, your loops, how long you want the piece. But just remember, when we do each row isn't all the way around. So if you're adding, say you're adding about 1 inch, you know, on top, you're adding 1 inch. So you're really adding 2 inches. You're adding it all the way around, and on the ends too. So that's something to remember. Of course. All right, so from here, there's no chain or anything in between. You're just going to work 3 double crochets in each loop, and you're going to try and work the stitches around the double crochet. So this lumpy bumpy on top here, that's your double crochet, and where it bows out and is more you know, smoother, not so bumpy, that's your chaining. So you'll just work back No chaining in between, just 3 double crochet and move on to the next. And all the way down the row, and then I'll meet you back for the working the corner so that we could work the bottom of this row. And you know, a tape measure when you're working with yarn is always very good to have, you know, when you're working with a whole bunch of different materials, actually, not just yarn. But because when you first do this, this has stretch, okay? And then, you know, it's going to shift and whatever as we're adding our stitches in. But if, say, your tension is different, your yarn is different, sometimes it'll come out way longer than what, you know, I'm doing here. So I will give you a measurement after we finish this row. But it shouldn't be, it's 45. It shouldn't be too tremendously long. You know, if you fold it in half and it's like, you know, ridiculous, like this looks like it's about 2 feet to me. And of course my tape measure is missing. All right, this is what I have on hand right this second. One of my husband's measuring tapes. All right, so this unstretched measures about 21 inches. Fold it over, unstretched. All right, and once you wow, this is old. This is my husband's. My tape measures are way nicer when I work with other things other than yarn. Okay, so if you double that up, what did I just say? 21. So it'd be 44 approximately. I know it's 42, but 44 approximately because of the curve and whatever. And then it's going to get longer with each row and bapa. All right, so you don't want to start it out too tremendously long, this piece. All right, let me stop blabbering. I will meet you for the first corner and show you how to work that up. And then from there, we'll just continue on. So when you get to your last loop, you'll do 3 double crochets, chain 2, go back in, do another 3 double crochet, you'll chain 2, 1, 2, and then you'll turn the corner and you'll do 3 double crochets. And then this starts the row, you know, this is the middle of the row. Do 3 double crochet in the bottom, around the chaining, the bottom of where you did your first starting row, because this is a whole row. Each row is worked all the way around the starting chain, which is the chain 3 double crochet loops. So we'll work this, and then when we get to our corner, I'll show you how we finish off our corner and move on to row 2 of this scarf. Okay, so now I reached my last one, the ending of row 1 from all the way around. So in this last loop, which is the first loop we started in this last loop, our last stitch, you'll go in and you'll do 3 double crochet, you'll chain 2, do another 3 double crochet. So now you'll chain 2 again, and you're going to slip stitch into the chains that we first made, that we started out with for this row, for row 1. Okay, and then you'll chain 2, chain 3, chain 3. I keep going to chain 2, but it's not chain 2. Okay, so now from here you're going to turn your work and we're going to work back around. So you'll do 3 double crochet. Well, actually your chain counts as your first double crochet. So you'll do 2 double crochets, a chain 2, go right back in that space and do 3 more double crochets. Okay, so from here, you're just going to skip right over to the next corner, and you'll work another corner with the 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and then another 3 double crochet. Now, from this point on, okay, you'll work the corners like that, but what you're going to do is you're just going to do a double crochet. I'm sorry, you'll just do a double crochet in each stitch all the way around. No chaining in between. The chaining is on the corner only, corners only for this this scarf. So you'll work all the way down, and then you'll work your corners just how we just did with the 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in that space, and then skip over that stitch, those 3 double crochet stitches. So you'll skip right over these 3 double crochet stitches and work your corner. I hope that's making sense to you so far. Okay, and then from here you'll just work down in a double crochet. Alright, so I will meet you next corner in a moment. You can pause if you're working it along with me, or watch to the end, however you feel comfortable, of course. So I hope if you're making it, I hope you like making the scarf, and I will be back in a moment. So I'm at my next corner here. So I crocheted all the way up until the end. Then I'm going to do my 3 double crochet in that corner, the first corner there. Chain 2, chain 2, and then do another 3 double crochet. Okay. Now I didn't do a chain in between. I just skipped right over the 3 double crochets to do another 3 double crochets in this corner. Then chain 2 and 3 double crochets right back in. Alright, and then you'll continue working in a double crochet all the way down, picking up every stitch with no slip stitching or any kind of thing, only on the corners and at the end, when we're attaching to the next, to end the row and start the new row. Okay, so now I'm at the end of row 3, and I got a color change and my nails done. Actually, I had gotten a wicked paper cut from, of all things, a yarn label. I felt so betrayed. So while I was waiting for the paper cut to heal, to finish filming, I had to go get my nails done because they were all grown out and looking terrible. Alright, so at the end of, no, this is the end of row 2. Okay, so at the end of row 2, you'll do your last double crochets. Okay. You'll slip stitch into your chains. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then turn your work. And we'll work back around to get to our corners. So 1 double crochet in each stitch until you get to your corners. So I know I'm not showing you everything on this scarf or whatever. I'm just giving you the highlights because, it's just a lot of double crochet and, working down in a, well, all the way around in a, a double crochet. The corners are really like the highlights once you get past, row 2. The corners are really the only thing you have to kind of think about. And then with this, you can go as wide as you like, how many rows you want around. So I'm probably going to do just 5 or 6 around, I think. It will be wide enough. You know, I don't want it too tremendous. Alright, so I'm at the corner here for row 2. My corner from row 2, I'm working now in row 3. Alright, so what you're going to do here is do a double crochet in the first 2 from your corner from row 2. So you'll do 1 double crochet in the first 2 here. You'll skip over that first stitch, the next stitch. So what I'm going to do here is a double crochet in the first 2 from our corner. I'm going to skip 1 and work 3 double crochet in that corner, in that chain 2 space. I'm going to chain 2 and do another 3 double crochet, all in that same spot. So from here, we're going to work across. So you'll skip your, I'm sorry, my lighting is terrible. terrible lately. I don't know what's going on. Alright, so on this corner you'll skip over your 3 double crochet here, and you'll do 3 double crochet in that space in between. I would say chain space, but we didn't chain. We just went straight over. Alright, and then you'll skip again and do your 3 double crochet. You'll skip to your next corner, you'll do your 3 double crochet, chain 2, and then another 3 double crochet. Alright, and then you'll continue working down in a double crochet, and you'll just repeat exactly what we did. So you'll skip that first one right here. You're not going to go into there. That first double crochet to loosen it up. You're not going in there. So you'll skip over to the next one, and it's, you know, we're working the same exact on both sides. And then you'll just continue working down in a double crochet, and you'll repeat the same thing when you get to the next corner. Okay, and from here you can work, I'm probably going to work about 5-6 rows, because tape measure, which was out, oh, okay, 1 second, tape measure. So now you'll just continue working this. Okay, let me give you a little, this is 1, 2, 3, okay, this is 3 rows in all the way around on this one corner that I just did. Alright, so I'm already at about 4 inches on this corner with 3 rows around, and it already being 4 inches wide. You know, your neck is only so wide, long rather. Alright, and I don't have a full row. But at this point, let's see, 20, all right, I'm about 22.5 folded over, not a full row on the 3rd row, right? 1, 2, 3, on the 3rd row. All right, so I'm already at 44 inches, approximately 43 to 45 inches long. So, you know, this is like a cowl, not a cowl, yeah, like a cowl, like an infinity scarf or what have you. So, you know, you don't want it to be too tremendous. I mean, how many times you're going to wrap it around your neck? When I came up with this one, it was meant to be wrapped around just twice, and not to be hanging so loosely, like in front of your chest or what have you. All right, blah, blah, blah. You'll just repeat this, doing exactly what we did on the corners, you know, with each one, you know, it'll keep growing, what have you. And for as many rows as you like. I'm probably doing 5 to 6 rows tops on this. So this is the scarf part. So that's the highlights of the scarf, and you can work it up or whatever, or you know, wait until whenever to work it up if you're going to make this one. And I will be back. You can pause here or what have you, and I'll start working the hood part of this section of this pattern, the hood that's going with the scarf. And you'll see all of that. And I don't know, this video is getting wacky to me. I think because of the pause and the not working it right up and the paper cut that I got, and then, you know, having to go get my nails done because they were all splitting, and I said, I can't keep filming with them all grown out and splitting. That's just terrible, you know. Anyway, all right, so you can pause here or what have you, or if you subscribe and then come back or whatever, and I will finish working up my scarf, and you do yours if you're working it up also. I hope you are. Okay, so just to show you, this is what your corner is going to look like. So with each increase, it increases like a regular granny square, only on the corners, of course. Okay, because that's where we're putting in our extra stitches and what have you. So you'll get, here you had 2 loops. You started with 1 from row 2. You had 1 extra loop here, extra space, and now you have 2. And this is from row 3, and this is from row 4, and now we have 3 extra loops. So on the corners it increases like a regular granny square, even though it's not a regular granny square. It's filled in. So I just wanted to point that out to you so that you notice, and you know it's working up right. And I must say, neither here nor there, it's I feel so strange doing the granny square without the chaining in between, but it works out without the chaining in between. Okay, so you'll just continue this on. So now my scarf is done for this piece, what have you. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows I did for it. So not bad. And it measures, with the 5 rows and the acrylic and the eye hook, it measures about 6 inches wide. And the length, about 50 inches. It's 48, around 48, you know, approximately 48 to 50 inches long with the 5 rows. Okay, so let's get the hood going on this. So in the same yarn that you did and your eye hook, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and in that 3rd chain from the hook you'll do a double crochet. So you'll chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and in that 3rd chain. So you'll repeat this for 5 of them, 5 of these chain 3 double crochet loops. So now from here, you'll chain 2, 1, 2, and you're going to go back in, and we're going to work around the double crochet. So you'll do 2 double crochets in that first one, skip over and do 3 double crochets in the next one, skip over, do 3 double crochets around your the first double crochet you did in that loop, okay, and you'll repeat that until you get to your last loop, and then we'll start working the other side. Now in this last loop here, you'll do your 3 double crochets, chain 2, do 3 more double crochets. Chain 2, 1, 2, I'm sorry, that's annoying. My yarn is kind of tight. Okay, and then go right back in and another 3 double crochet after you chain 2. So now from here, you'll do 3 double crochets around your chains from the starting, with no chain in between, just 3 double crochets, skip over, 3 double crochet in the next. And in your last loop, you'll do 3 double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work, and then you're going to go in through the tops and work back till you get to your corner, your end, and then we'll work the corner. And the chaining counts as a double crochet. Okay, so you're going to skip this first stitch here, you're going to skip this next stitch that's next to your chaining, go in and do, in that chain space, you'll do 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets. So now from here you'll skip that first stitch, you'll go in and work the center stitch. Skip over 1 and do 3 double crochets in that corner. Chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets. So from here you'll skip that first one and you'll work a single crochet. Have I been saying single crochet? Double crochet. This is all double crochet. Oh gosh. All right. You'll be working back in a double crochet until you get to the last stitch here. So 1 double crochet all the way down the row. So when you get to your last one, you'll chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn your work. Okay, so we'll work back in a double crochet till we get to our corner. So you'll skip that first one again, and you'll do your 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in that corner, in that chain space. Skip that first stitch, and then work across to your next corner. So you should have 5 right there. So let's see. Skip that first one and work another corner. 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Skip 1 and then work the rest of the row in a double crochet. So you'll chain 3 and you'll work back. and you'll work another corner with the 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and then another 3 double crochet. So you'll continue working this with the increases just as we've been doing, you know, for the first couple of rows and stuff. So this is what your piece should look like so far. So it's half of like a granny rectangle without being worked all the way. So flat piece on the bottom, and then the top is you know, is like a granny rectangle, granny square. So now we just finished row 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So from this point, we're not going to do any more increases, meaning we're not going to work the corners as corners anymore. We're going to fill them in, and that's going to give us the curve to have it be a hood, you know, to go on our head and not just a flat piece, if that makes sense. So from here for row 5, you'll chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and that chain does count as a double crochet. So you're going to work back in a double crochet, and when you get to your corner, you're going to do 3 double crochet with no chaining or anything in between. So we're on row 5. So 1 double crochet in each until you get to your corners, and then we'll work the corner together. So now I'm at my corner, and you're going to pick up that first one closest to the chain, the chain 2 space. So you're going to pick that up. So you should have 21. I think it's 21 for that first part. So now in this chain 2 space, you're going to do 3 double crochet with no chaining or any kind of thing. All right, 3 double crochet, and then you're going to pick up across the row and repeat that corner in the next corner, because we're not increasing anymore. Okay, so you should be up to 38, and then this first double crochet right here, so that's 39, and then 3 in that chain 2 space. 40, 41, 42. And then you'll pick up that first one and work it down the row till you get to your end. Okay, so what you're going to do now for row 6 is you're going to work 1 double crochet all the way around. You'll chain 3, turn your work, and work 1 double crochet in each stitch until you get to your end. And you'll repeat that for the next 10 rows. So for the next row, 10 rows, so it should be until you get to row 16. You'll repeat 1 double crochet, a chain 3 on the end, and then 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around with approximately 63. That's what I come out with, including my chaining, as a double crochet. So if you have, you know, 1 less, 1 more, 2 less, 2 more, as long as it's even. And when I say even, I mean it's sitting, you know, this first part is sitting nice and flat. Then you're good. Okay?
So you'll repeat that until row 16, and then I'll be back and I'll show you how we'll finish it up. So now my hood is done. So that's what it looks like so far. And you know, if this is for the hood, you can make, you know, as deep as you like, really. You know, your choice or what have you, if you want it deeper to like cover more of your face or however you're going to wear it and stuff. So, but with that, or with this, what have you, so with that, with this, what have you, what you would do is you would cut off when you're done crocheting and get your buttons ready to sew. Now just to show you, this is about 10 inches deep, and that's 16 rows, you know, back and forth, you know, or half circle or what have you. So what you would do from this point is to attach it to your scarf. Is you would get your buttons, and you can use flat buttons or toggles, your choice. But I'm not going to, you know, eat up your time with my sewing, because that's not nice. But just make sure that your buttons fit through the scarf, because you're going to sew the buttons onto the hood so that you could take the hood off, you know, when you want, what have you, and just wear the scarf if it's, you know, warm enough, or, you know, you want to wear a different hat or some kind of something. So just make sure that your buttons fit through your double crochet before you start sewing them on. And you would space them out, you know, maybe 3 inches apart all the way around. You know, measure, I'm going to tell you to measure and mark them where you're going to put them, so that, you know before you start sewing that you have them where you want them. And, you know, if not, you can always just sew this right to the scarf. It's not, you know, it's your choice, of course. And with the scarf is open at this point, but also if you want, you can always, you know, put buttons to close up the scarf and make it an infinity scarf or a cowl or what have you. All right, so they're all 6.5 inches apart, but you know, it depends on your length of your hood. Okay, so but I did mine where my little clips are. That's where I'm going to sew my buttons in. And if you want, you can add more, you know, buttons or what have you, or you could sew the hood directly onto the scarf. Of course, that's always your choice. So I'm just gonna get a needle and thread, and I have these, and I made sure that they fit through here, at least, you know, on one edge it fits through, so that they can be put on and, you know, put on and taken off and all that. All right, and then you just sew them in place, needle and thread, and you're good to go. All right, so you'll see this in the pictures at the beginning and at the end. And if you have any questions, please ask. If you haven't subscribed, please do give us a thumbs up, me a thumbs up, or what have you, if you do like the pattern or if you work it and what have you. And I think that's about it for the hooded scarf, the hooded cowl type scarf. And I will be back very soon. I got some new amigurumis in the works, some new doll patterns and such that I'm going to be working on. So with that, happy hooking as always, because it keeps you off the streets, keeps you out of trouble. And I will be back very soon with a new tutorial. So have a super great day. Crochet Basics with me, Jolie. Have a good one. Bye.